Hello and welcome to the first episode of Series 8 of RC Racing TV. Well, we are not mucking about, we are kicking off with one of the best races we've ever seen. In fact, so good, it was nominated for an award, the EFRA European Rallycross Championship. To see if it won that award, go to www.rcracing.tv. So to give you more of the hot action, we'll dispense with qualifying and cut right to the chase. But right after some micro gymkhana action from Ken Block and HPI Racing. Well, what could you say of that other than wow? Anyway, here's John Hindhaugh with one of the best races we've ever seen.
Here's the ProLine grid then. David Ronenfalk has the pole position, the Swede, with the Kyosho chassis and Orion power. Jon Neumann in second. Durango and Pico for the German. First of the Brits in third, Darren Bloomfield. Nova Rossi power for the TLR chassis. Czech Republic represented in fourth place by Martin Baer. On the X-Ray, it's Mugen for Robert Batal in the Spanish colours in grid 5. Another Brit, Lee Martin. Mugen with Beat Power in 6th. 7th, the first of three Frenchmen, Renault Savoia, X-Ray and Orion. And then it's the Igon brothers. Jerome first in 8th and Yannick in 9th. Elliot Boots for the UK in 10th, Jerome Sartel from France in 11th, and Christopher Svensson rounds off the top dozen. Well, drama before the starting flag is even dropped as Jon Neumann is at the back, effectively in 13th position after problems just before we got the cars onto the grid. So Ronenfalk has an easy run into the first corner and makes the best of that as he pulls away on the Kyosho with the Orion power through the infield with these very difficult bumps. You can see it's very, very dry, and the guy scrambling for grip here on that chalk surface. It has caused some issues, the machinery having to be cleaned down very carefully between heats and finals, and making the right tyre choice here has been absolutely crucial. Paul Mann Ronenfalk then leading out, everyone else just settling themselves in. This is going to be a long race, and you need to have in your head that you're there at the end, not just at the beginning. And this has been a tidy start then for the Swede on pole position, or from pole position, who leads out. That's Darren Bloomfield in second. Effectively, that was where he started, of course, with Jon Neumann way down at the back. And that looks like Beyer to me, who's come up from fourth position on the grid. And again, that's effectively where he started, isn't it? Through over the washboard area. He's absolutely battering the bottom of the cars as they come through again. Being able to control the vehicles in the air has been crucial all the way through this event. And the leading three are not getting away, are they? Looks like the Spaniards, Bataille in fourth place, again from his grid spot. Now here is the battle for second place. And Bloomfield has lost out there. I think Bayer's just gone through. And that is a nice move by the Czech Republic driver. LRP power on the X-Ray chassis. And again, just notice how he is controlling the car in the air by using the throttle and the torque of the motor to change the attitude of the car. And I'm afraid another little mistake there by Darren Bloomfield. And that's allowed the Spaniard Robert Bataille to close up to him. So the reigning European champion is now being closed down by the reigning world champion. So we have some real class here, but they're only battling for third position in this heat. And you can see quite clearly from those low shots just how the track has been developing over the event. This is the final, nowhere to hide from here. See the wear on the chalk surface. It has been a source of some chat in the paddock, in fairness, and there's pretty much a 50-50 split. It's a bit Marmite at the moment about those people who love it or hate it. It, I think, depends how far up the grid you are as to whether you like it or not, but quite clearly getting the right tyre choice has been a part of that, and the guys with the experience have, as seemingly ever happens here on RC Racing, they have risen to the top. So as you, and I was just about to say, as you were there, and there is the Czech Republic driver Martin Beyer dropping a position to Bloomfield as he goes off the track. Darren Bloomfield goes through, and Beyer now battling with Bataille, and it looks like the Spaniard, yes, has got through. Those bright yellow wheels giving it away. So it's Ronenfalk in the Audi UK rundown who leads it from Bloomfield back to second, now Bataille to third, and that has put Beyer down to fourth position, where that looks like Lee Martin, who is just trying to put some pressure on the second of the Brits. Excuse me, that's Savoia who is there, who's come up through from seventh position, very much on home, well, chalk here, I was going to say home ground. And again, more battling going on, and that's Bloomfield losing out the position there as Bataille goes through into second place. This is a well-judged run from the Spaniard. Got to say that Ronenfalk has cleared out, and by the way, we mentioned that Neumann, excuse me, should have been starting in second place, started at the back of the field, and we've yet to see him make any impact on the front of the field. So that issue with the machinery just before the drop of the tricolour has cost him dearly. Second place qualifier, and he's not featuring at all here. So Savoia looks like he's gone through as well. So now it's Ronenfalk, Bataille, Bloomfield and Savoia, your top four. I'm impressed at just how everybody is pacing themselves here. Lovely drift there through the far side hairpin. But look at the lead that the Swedish driver David Ronenfalk, top qualifier, has got as Bloomfield is battling again with the Spaniard. It does seem as though the Mugen, he's just punching out of those slow corners slightly better, but you can see under braking that the blue buggy of the Brit is very stable indeed. And I think it's the fact that Darren feels the pressure from behind now. He's pushing on and trying to regain that second place. Qualified in third, of course, but had an empty grid spot ahead of him. And just look at how Robert is committing his buggy into the corner very early, getting the drift on. That does mean he gets on the power earlier, and that's why he punches out of those slower corners. Now, he's made a little mistake there. He may struggle to get the power down, and in fact it's actually disadvantaged Bloomfield, who goes behind Savoia, who gets a lovely slide on. So Savoia up into 3rd place now, Bloomfield down into 4th, and that's still Bayer in 5th position, hanging on to them as they come through this infield section again. No real place to let the engines run here. It's all about precision on the sticks and feeling for the grip, and you can see that that is easy for me to say, not that simple for the guys. So Ronan Falk still leads and comes across the line. In fact, that is Ronan Falk in the pits. I just paused there for a moment because I couldn't see Ronan Falk down the front straight, and that's why first of the pit stops. Oh, and he's made a mistake. Oh, disaster for the poleman and long-time leader coming out the pits. Oh, and it's all gone horribly wrong for the Kyosho driver. Just perhaps a little loss of concentration. What we didn't see was what his pit stop was like, and maybe it just didn't go quite right for him. Well, I'm being told from down in the pit lane that it seemed to be fine, but just broke the concentration and the rhythm. And this, as you can see, is very much a rhythm circuit here in Rennes. Let's have a look at what happened to Ronan Falk on the Team Durango replay here. Well, it's just a mistake, isn't it? And he gets the car onto its head, and good work by the marshal there. But even then, it's not all over, because he gets tagged and he's on the infield but recovers quickly. Amazing, isn't it, that someone who could dominate the early part of the race so much. Right, pit stops again, and this is the last of the first round of the pit stops. The Spaniard Bataille going into the pit lane, and that is Renault Savoy going through, and a Frenchman leads in Reims, as us English would say, Reims as the French would say. Very famous racetrack just down the road from here. The grandstands have just reached. Oh, and there's a battle for the lead, and oh well, that is remarkable. Now, how are the judges going to view that? That is the battle for the lead, and this is getting very, very physical indeed, and the Spaniard goes ahead. That's not gone down well here in France. I was just about to say, the old grandstands down the road have seen physicality like that down through the years. They've just been all tidied up and make a great visit. Many of the guys have been down there this weekend, having a look at the full-sized facilities, and still a venue for a very, very big historic festival just on the, what of course were public roads in those days. Well, no further action from that incident, and as I say that, once again a mistake from the Spaniard, whose driving has gone a little bit awry, and again not controlling the buggy in the air, and that has cost him the lead, as the Frenchman Renault Savoy on the X-Ray, multiple European champion, goes back through into the lead, and that was met with approval, as you might imagine, from the trackside spectators. Good crowd here. Little grandstand off to camera right there, which has been busy for the whole of the event. And it's not just the paddock who've come to watch here. This has been supported very well locally, well promoted as well, and a well-run event. The concentration levels needing to be held right through this race. Should be in the region of about 3/4 of an hour, this race. Never ceases to amaze me just how the guys do this. It's warm. It has been all weekend. It is a little bit dusty. And you can see now the guys are really getting into their stride. And again, that's the curse of the commentator. That's the leader. That's the recovering David Rundenfalk, the pole man is what I wanted to say there. He's now in a bit of clear air, and let's see what sort of lap times he can put in. He'll be disappointed with that mistake after his first pit stop. But as you can see, on his own at the moment, he's making very, very good ground. Savoia still leads it, but he's quite a way ahead at the moment. And there is Renault Savoia through the infield. Just hearing that Savoia has made a small mistake in traffic himself, and that has allowed Ronenfalk now to close the gap. That is Ronenfalk who is closing down on the Frenchman. So the Swede, after that mistake, he must feel as though this eventer was slipping away from him. Very characteristic early drive. Oh, Darren Bloomfield, the distinctive blue number 3, has broken down. So we will have a new European champion today. There'll be a new name on the trophy. Could, of course, be a name that we've seen before. It could be a 4th European Championship for Savoia. That's where he is at the moment. But David Ronenfalk, is now putting pressure on. Two very, very different styles of driving. Very much more of a pitch-in and power on early from the leader, Savoia. Very flamboyant style. Tempted to say national characteristics coming out here with the rather more measured Scandinavian driving. Bizarrely, not the rally style sideways from the second place driver, and very flamboyant from the Frenchman, and gets a little bit too much air, and through goes the poleman to retake the lead. That's been a fantastic run back, measured drive back after his own mistake cost him a big lead after that first pit stop, and he has regained the lead. Let's go to the Audi UK replay here, and that was a smashing piece of driving by Ronenfalk. Saw the opportunity in mid-air and took it, got the power on as soon as the buggy was down on the ground and back under control. Now, danger time for both of the leading pair. They've got a decent gap to third place at the moment as they pick their way through traffic. Always worse, of course, for the leader. But we should say, if you're new to RC racing, the race director's very good about letting drivers know that the leaders are coming up. Oh, the leader's rolled it! The leader has rolled it, and look at the frustration there as two huge rooster tails come out the back of Ronenfalk's buggy. That was not the measured Swede that we've seen. He rolls it here. Now watch this. He knows he's made a big mistake. Huge chalk spray out from behind the car. So after all of that fighting, and now Savoia makes a mistake. As we move through the race, perhaps tiredness is just beginning to set in. These two leaders, it's between these two for the 2013 European Championship here on RC Racing with ProLine, Team Durango and Audi UK. Once again, bringing you the best, the very best of RC racing from around the world. And this is shaping up to be a cracker with Savoia and Ronenfalk. Savoia, who remember was off grid 7 and leads it. They are just ahead of a back marker, so don't worry about the third buggy there. It is just the two, the bright orange and the green and yellow. The Swede again has a look round the outside and almost gets his front wheels ahead there as they come across underneath the driving stand. Time beginning to tick away now. There's not much time. It's now or never for the Swede. He's only got himself to blame for not being in the lead at the moment. He had a huge lead in the early part of the race. He fought back to the lead, and two uncharacteristic mistakes by Ronenfalk have given the opportunity to the local man, the Frenchman, here at Reims, at Reims, on the chalk. This is brilliant measured driving by both of these men. They know the clock is ticking down. No more pit stops. They run to the end from here. And the pressure is huge. Now, would you rather be in the lead and have track position, or would you rather be the hunter in second place? Well, at the moment, it looks like Savoia just has pulled out the tiniest of a cushion, and he makes a mistake. That could be terribly costly as Ronenfalk ups the ante but couldn't take advantage of it. He wasn't close enough. Dives down the inside there but backs out of it so as not to cause an accident. Well, Ronenfalk was just too far away there, not close enough to take advantage of the mistake by the Frenchman, who once again is regaining that flamboyant driving style. But you've got to be so precise here on the chalk. And down the inside, Ronenfalk goes through. Is that the decisive moment of the race? Through the hairpin and across the line. What a marvellous, marvellous piece of driving by the Swede. And now, can he pull away? The Frenchman refuses to be dropped. Back to the scene of the crime for the last lap. No, look at that. Fantastic. Getting the power on so early. Savoia now settles back in second place. So now it's Ronenfalk who is dictating the pace and goes through that infield hairpin. Over the washboard and back down towards. You can see, can't you, that the second place buggy of Savoia, the X-ray with Orion Power, oh, the lead has gone off again. I was just about to say that it looked like the Frenchman to me was losing the front end of that car, wasn't getting the turn in, it wasn't as pointy. Let's have another look at the Audi UK replay, and just clips the inside curb there and goes over. That's surely now, that's 3 times that the Swede has handed the lead to someone else, and the last twice it's been to the Frenchman. Now, will French resistance hold out for the last few moments of this race? Or can the Swede, the fastest qualifier, remember, use that speed to get back on terms? Don't write the headlines yet. The reports are... Don't press send. It's not over. The reports are not to be... Oh, and as I say that again, it's another issue for both of the leaders. That just shows the pressure. These are very experienced drivers. The crowd are loving this. Big gasp there from the grandstand right in front of them, and once again the whoops have caused the problems, and the Swede is back in the lead. No one else we're looking at the moment as we go to the Team Durango replay, and again it's over and out of the lead for the Frenchman, and almost unable to take advantage again was Ronenfalk, who has now settled down into a pace. And where is the Frenchman? The answer is dropping away, because he's made a second mistake as he tried to put the pressure on our fastest qualifier. So David Ronenfalk now, Orion Power on the Kyosho, comes in the last couple of laps. That's 3 laps I'm hearing on time as we're looking at the clock, counting down. This has been... Well, you know, you look at the result of this and say, well, he won from pole position. Piece of cake. Lights to flag victory. Anything but that, as Savoia is in second place. A long way back, by the way. Martin Baer on the X-ray is in 3rd position. But it's... Oh, and as I've just said that, the Swede is over again. But the lead that he built up there was so big that Savoia wasn't even close to him. Stays on the low line through that banked curve. And... will he be able to convert this? Surely there's no more drama as he comes through. Let's not forget, in the last couple of minutes of this event last year, he was out in front and could not convert. Tightened up and lost the championship. Is he going to do it again? It was Darren Bloomfield last year who was the man who came through and took advantage. Savoia's nickname is the Shark, and you can almost hear that John Williams score of Jaws now as he's hunting him down, and he's getting closer. He's getting very close now. And will it be Sweden or France for the European Championship here in France at Reims on the chalk, coming through? Last lap now, and the gap between them is less than a second. Now, surely David Ronenfalk now must be just... You've got to... Really now, what you've got to do is not worry about the man behind. Drive one more qualifying lap, David, and it's yours. Any mistakes now, there's no... Absolutely no margin for error. He's lost that lead that he built up, and here comes Savoia. Here comes the Shark. The pointed teeth. The mouth is open. The dorsal fin is out of the water, but I think that the Swede is going to do enough and get to the checkered flag. 2 more corners now. Surely this is going to be the red line that you can see on the left, and there it is. Through he goes, and David Ronenfalk on the Kyosho with the Orion Power. The Swede takes the 2013 European Championship.
Well, congratulations, David, and here's how the rest of the finalists finished on the ProLine scoreboard. Well, that's all we've got time for this month. Be sure to check out our website at rcracing.tv for a daily news update, how to get started in this fantastic hobby, and all the news, views, interviews and race action you RC lovers, well, love.